Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to session two of day two of UAE-India Food Security Summit 2020 on the topic of AgroTech. My name is Achal Walia. I'll be the moderator for this session. At Invest India, I'm a part of the Middle East and Africa team and lead Invest India's engagements with Saudi Arabia. We have witnessed that agriculture cannot solely survive on traditional methods and needs large scale technology intervention to resolve various agri chain woes, which will in turn boost healthy production and revenue. The silver lining from this pandemic is that this has accelerated the digital transformation journey across many sectors, a trend that was initiated to ensure survival but seems to be here to stay. Hence, ensuring food security through technology and innovation is the need of the hour for the global economy. This session is of 1 hour and has esteemed speakers to showcase milestones by companies in the field of aquaculture, hydroponics, saline irrigation, and agri-tech vertical farming. With this, may I request Neelu Rora Ma'am, Council Commerce at Council General of India, to start the session with her opening remarks, please. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Atul. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Food Security Summit 2020, which is being hosted today in Dubai. I just wanted to say AgroTech is very close to my heart. And as Atul right now said, the pandemic has thrown up so many opportunities now. Since the UAE has the Honorable Minister for Food Security, she had mentioned that she would like to build a silicon oil food technology in the UAE. I think this is the opportunity for India to join hands and the best minds in the IITs and the IIMs. They should take this opportunity and work together with the UAE and AgroTech. There is so much R&D and innovation going on, but we are not in touch. My view was that I would like to connect the private sector and the Indian minds in the technology area with the Union partners and facilitate this and take this forward. There is so much scope, so much potential, so much opportunity, and we need to work really to take this to the next level. This is the platform which I was discussing with him just a short while ago, where we can uh, really brainstorm and look at solutions and concrete results is what I am expecting to come out of this. So I don't want to keep you from uh, the other speakers today. And this is a session I'm looking forward to very much today. And please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm there 24/7, email on WhatsApp. Anything I can do to help both the panelists today and anybody else who was attending this session. Please reach out to me. I would love to have discussions and take this forward so that India and UAE can partner together in the food security of the UAE. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable remarks and continuous support and guidance. Humble request to all the speakers to please restrict their addresses to 5 to 7 minutes only. With this, may I now request Mr. Hemant Shukla, CEO Veggietech UAE, to deliver your remarks, please. Thank you.
There is no voice.
We were able to see the video, Mr. Hemant, but I think the voice was not there. I'm sorry, it's still not audible. It's still not audible, Mr. Hemant.
Please share this video with upper button. There is the file, edit, share. In share, there is a button, share with audio.
I think we'll skip the video just in terms of respecting everybody's time on the platform. So we'll just start off with the presentation if you like. My name is Hemant Julka. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer of AgroTech. AgroTech is an AgroTech organization which is 7 years old, and our sole aim is to disrupt agriculture as an industry with technology at its core. We are looking to democratize technology so that we can create affordable, sustainable, and environmental friendly farms across the globe. I'm going to quickly switch into the presentation mode if the team supports me here. I've got 5 slides, so it should be very quick and brief. We'll talk about the history of the company, give you a little bit of a view of how we started the journey to where we are today, and then talk a little bit about the different building blocks which make us unique in the space of agriculture. I will also like to take the opportunity to thank Mrs. Neelu Rora for her constant support and encouragement and belief and trust in what we are bringing to the region and to India. And I would also like to thank Her Excellency Mariam Al Mehri, who is UAE Minister for Food and Water Security, who has also been a constant source of inspiration and encouragement, and making sure that AgroTech company is successful in UAE, especially where we have brought technology to combat temperature, soil, and water, which are the three key challenges which keep traditional agriculture potentially at maybe 60% of the year, because for nearly 5 months of the year, here we face temperatures which are excess of 40 degrees Celsius. So very quickly, let's take our journey began in 2013. We were set up in Seoul, South Korea. That's where we initiated our entire research and development in LED-assisted hydroponics. We spent around 4 years researching, perfecting the technology, working with the National Agriculture University in Korea and in India, 18 harvest cycles, 96 different molecules being tested. And once we were convinced and we were sure that we could bring this technology to scale, is when we landed in the UAE. And I often get asked the question saying, why UAE? So UAE for us was a great opportunity to land the entire proof of concept, where specifically the temperature, soil, and water are not conducive for traditional agriculture, and the implementation of our technology, which is protected hydroponics and LED-assisted hydroponics, would make a fundamental impact on the country, given that only 10 to 15% of the produce is grown in the country, and 85 to 90% gets imported. So we clearly saw this at the confluence of the country's strategic direction, as well as where we wanted to bring our technology to make the biggest impact. And then, having set ourselves up in 2016 here, we have seen rapid growth, and we're quite proud that we have over 35 hectares of farms that we have built and operate. And right now we have the largest indoor vertical farm operating in UAE. And this summer, it was the only farm that was producing kale for the country. So we are quite proud of being technologists, but also bringing in a business solution that's impacting our end consumers itself. Next slide, please. So this is a geospatial view of our farm. So we've currently got 3 farms that are operational with the help of a very strong agronomy team, which is headed by our Chief Agronomy Officer, Mr. Bhaskar Rao. We are looking to create around 2.2 million kilograms of crops from these farms of ours. 500,000 kilograms coming from our organic certified farms, around 1.4 million kilograms from our protected hydroponics and net houses, and around 300,000 kilograms coming from our indoor vertical farms itself. Now, you would ask, how is this technology different from what we would do on a traditional farm? Yeah? And that's where you will see some statistics on the bottom right side of the slide, where if not for this technology, we would require nearly 5 times the land size to grow the crop that we are growing. You would require nearly 90% more water. And as we know, in this environment, where we live in a desert country, water is a very scarce commodity. So this is where, using less than 5 to 10% of water, we're able to create the produce. And most importantly, the produce is pesticide free by design. So there is 0% use of pesticides to grow these crops. And that means that the citizens and the residents of UAE can enjoy farm fresh food on a daily basis in less than 6 hours. So from the time of harvest to the food coming into the kitchens is less than 6 hours. And this is where we firmly believe our technology is actually bringing the innovation and social impact, which all technologists should be, looking towards putting together. Next slide, please. People talk, always talk to us about the cost of deployment of such technology. And Vegetech, we are very happy to state that we really are very, very focused on the affordability of the crops that come out of our technology-enabled farms. We call them digital smart farms. And we have now a scalable, repeatable model by which we have created operating systems which can be repeated across geographies. So we are delighted. Yesterday, we had the Honorable Cabinet Minister from Punjab, Gurmeet Singh Sodhi sir, and he actually has offered us the opportunity of setting up a 2-acre protected hydroponics digital smart farm in Punjab. And we would love to actually bring this technology at scale even in India, because now, as you can see, the different components have been well rehearsed. They actually have been well studied, and they are visible and available in our farms in Zubair, Sharjah, when you actually can come and have a look at them. We also are very happy that we have brought some of the corporate tech into farming, including a state-of-the-art farm ERP solution, which not only helps you manage your operational efficiencies on the farm, but to the end consumer, it comes up with a QR code, and the QR code gives you the entire history of a crop. So if I was to be holding a cucumber in my hand, and if I had a QR code scan on it, I would know exactly when the crop was seeded, when was it actually harvested, what was the amount of nutrition that was put in, what is the calorie content, and most importantly, which field or which farm it actually has come out from. And this is where we find the confluence of technology and agriculture industry coming together nicely to create a positive impact to the consumer who's looking at it. There are also a few other things that we are doing, and I'll kind of talk about that, in a bit when I go to the next slide, because we are clearly focusing on creating the next billion farmers. Very often people have actually have talked about the food ecosystem, and just to repeat myself, if you were to just transport yourself to planet Mars and you looked at planet Earth, you would see the planet Earth people producing food for all the 7.7 billion people. Yet 1.3 billion tons of food gets wasted every year, and 890 million people go to sleep hungry every night, which is 15% of the people. If you look at the cost that is involved in growing the 1.3 billion tons of food that is getting wasted, you could feed the 890 people 4 times over it. So you would really think that the people on planet Earth are really crazy for allowing this to happen year on year. So this is where Vegetech is not happy with this current scenario, and we are trying to make an impact in 2 ways here. The first one is where we want every child who we think is our future leader to understand how the food ecosystem is broken and how they can contribute to fixing it. So there is a lot of focus within Vegetech to create a center of excellence for alternative agriculture practices, where we also call it the Learning Hub currently, and it's also called the Grow Media, Grow Academy. And the Grow Academy essentially is what is going to work with all the students to make them understand what is not working correctly in the current food ecosystem and how they can contribute to that. So we want to actually literally try and ensure that farming becomes a life skill for our children going forward. And there's a lot of work happening with the university ecosystem. You can see photobioreactors. You can see a lot of focus on soil preservation. There's a lot of focus on trying to get people to understand the biodiversity of crops. And more importantly, we want to create a new phase for the farmer where the farmer is not only focusing on the food, but also is aware about the nutrition value of the food. So a lot of focus with BITS Pilani, Dubai, Manipal Academy, SPVN, University of Sharjah, American University of Sharjah, where we are working with the food sciences and bionutrition department to look at how do we combat the three key issues in the social environment in UAE, for example, where type 2 diabetes, childhood obesity, and cancer are the three main issues. And what kind of nutrition can we bring from a farm into the society so that we can address these issues. So again, you can see a lot of digital technologies coming in. We have a learning management platform on the back of which we pivot all of these learning modules. And these are provided as micro-learning moments for our students and our future leaders so that they can grasp them, they can focus on these, and they can do something to kind of address the current food ecosystem. Next slide, please. Again, the final. So this is my final slide, which talks about how we see the future as Vegetech. So if you saw in the past, we had a disconnected ecosystem where the food was grown in villages and then people consumed that in cities. People really didn't have any idea where it was coming from, etc. So it was like a two-class society, if you like. To where we are today, where people know where the food comes from because we've got a very strong distribution supply chain, which is working behind to kind of provide that stuff. But there is nothing beyond that. Yeah. And when people plan the new city or the smart cities as they are called, we rarely think about where the food will come from in that city. But for the future, we want the thought process about food to be inclusive by design. And that's what you see us practicing on a daily basis in Vegetech, where we want to ensure that we can bring the growth spaces as close to the living spaces in our societies. So by design, just like how we think about roads, infrastructure, electricity, schools, hospitals being built around our living areas, we should also be thinking about from where will the food come into these areas. And using our technologies of LED assisted hydroponics, protected hydroponics, we can very easily convert indoor areas into vertical farms. We can also convert beautiful landscaping areas into greenhouses, and the communities can also get involved in growing their own food. So this is where we see a huge disruption coming in, but this is where we think is the future of food itself. And if you just see, below there's a DNA strand there, where we also want the farmers to be connected to these smart cities, where we understand the nutrition that is required by the society. So for example, if you have women over 30, we know that they require iron, they need folic acids, and they need antioxidants. So what can be produced in the farm that will allow for these to be made available to the cities in a very, very seamless manner? So this is where we are working on a digital platform where we connect the smart cities forecast into becoming the smart farms harvest plan. And you will see a lot of work which is happening in that space. And also, needless to say, we are completely aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals. And this is exactly what we preach. And we actually walk the talk on our farms when you come and actually have a look at that stuff. So this in a nutshell is essentially where Vegetech is going. We firmly believe that we are actually disrupting the ecosystem of the agriculture industry. We are not competing, which is one of the important things I wanted to highlight today to the panel. This is not about saying one way of growing is better than the other way of growing. As long as we are all aligned towards a vision where we need to ensure that we get the right nutrition to the humanity, on planet Earth, that's the core objective. And we are quite proud to say that, Vegetech is playing its role in this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hemant. That was very insightful and very interesting to learn about your company's journey starting from Seoul, South Korea, and the work that you're doing to add value in enhancing the harvest, saving water and land to do the same, especially with the digital operating systems and also the concept of Learning Hub. Thank you so much for your presentation. With this, may I now request Ms. Mamta Kamireddy, Managing Director, Hydrilla, to deliver your remarks, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Achal. You'll be sharing the presentation or should I share it?
We'll allow you to share the presentation, ma'am. You'll see an option over there.
I have already give the presenter power.
Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank the Consulate General and Invest India for this opportunity. Mr. Hemant in the earlier presentation had very clearly covered the requirements of technology and the changes required in the farming scenario. So with this belief only, Hydrilla, we had started Hydrilla journey in the year 2017. It has been nearly 4 years since we started on this journey, with key goals of achieving quality, quantity, and consistency in the farm produce. In this perspective, especially when we are targeting today's summit, where export of farm produce from various food tech parks and farms in our country to Middle Eastern countries, these factors become very important, addressing the nutritive value, the perishability of the produce, and moreover the consistency of the farm produce. It should not be like when you're targeting exports, the consistency should be in terms of how many tons of produce is going on a daily basis to the ports actually. So that kind of a precision can be achieved when we follow farming practices which involve hydroponics kind of a precision farming techniques. At Hydrilla, with this vision, we have key investments in research and innovation in hydroponics and aquaponic areas. Until now, we have established farms over 10 states across the country and handheld over 1,000 growers in their journey in starting hydroponic farms. Horticulture produce still, marks a very small chunk of exports, and there is a huge chance of growth in that front. We enable farmers in establishing various type of farms in growing various greens, herbs, exotic vegetables and berries kind of a crops and medicinal herbs with high medicinal value. We have done the most economical hydroponic farm installations. Here I would like to mention that India comes with a very diversified climatic condition. One uniform farm project model will not work for all the states and all the regions in the country. In fact, we have to take advantage of the climate, the diversified climate which India brings. So the kind of a farm installation which I have done for client in Bangalore versus Chennai are different actually. With that front, we specialize in manufacturing of various hydroponic systems like NFT, deep water culture systems, and grow bag farms, which are very economical for some farmers who cannot invest in very high tech technology. We can establish farms ranging from 20 to even 60 tons of production per acre. Apart from this, we specialize in training of the farmers. As I told, these are very latest technologies. So hand-holding of the farmers in carrying on these activities in a very precise farming with an understanding of the technology is very important. So we train the farmers in that front. We see very huge opportunities by embracing technology in this front. So apart from that, the next domain is aquaponics. More than hydroponics, actually, aquaponics directly converts into double revenue source because we are growing two produces, fish and plants together. And it is needless to say that the demand for fish produce is very high, and the demand is not met in a very good way when it comes to especially exports, even though India ranks number 2 in the fish production. Now the marine sources are exhausted as well, and they have limitations with respect to even ecology and balance. Indian government is aware of these limitations, and hence our government has launched even Blue Revolution scheme with an aim to bring even more than like 42,000 hectares of land under aquaculture. With an investment of 20,000 crores or more to address this critical infrastructure needs. Recirculating aquaculture, where Hydrilla is working in this front, is the most promising technology for fish farming. And when combined with hydroponics, it generates two revenue sources for the grower. This recirculating aquaculture, when combined with hydroponics, is what is called as aquaponics. Now, in aquaponics is one area where many farmers and companies don't step in, despite knowing this profitable revenue source, because many believe that it is a complex infrastructure and it is a very complex feat to achieve balance having two life forms. However, technology can give answer to these problems. At Hydrilla, we have innovated in multi-loop aquaponics, which removes the tight balance and the critical risk factors which are associated with the traditional recirculating aquaponics model. We have our own in-house biofilter designs and aquaculture farm designs. We have our patented technology in biofilters, which handles all these risks. With this, the farms are highly scalable and easily manageable, and also can be extended to include into a permaculture farm, enabling a whole ecology and a very sustainable organic farm, which is possible by embracing this technology. In this front, we have implemented around semi-commercial aquaponics farms in more than 5 cities across the country. As far as even northeastern states, northern states like Himachal Pradesh, Simla, and southern states like Kerala, Bangalore, and Telangana. We are now in talks with the Tamil Nadu district fish hatcheries in solving their issues with respect to fish lifespan and fish waste management, wherein they are finding our technology very handy. Our future plan is to establish hydroponic and aquaponic farms pan India, taking this technology into near to all the farmers. To put it in a brief way, 1 acre of aquaculture can have 30 to 40 tons of fish production in one cycle, whereas 1 acre of aquaponics can have 15 tons of fish production and 15 tons of green production, which converts to huge revenue source for the farmers. Saying that, I would like to sign off and sharing just a future plan wherein we are starting large scale aquaponic farms in both Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and and Andhra states as part of our vision for the next 2 years. Thank you for this opportunity once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you on your company's detailed overview and the kind of work that you're doing. It's very encouraging to see your investments in research and innovation with in-house technologies in aquaponics and hydroponics, assisting farmers to take advantage of different climatic conditions across states in India and to promote sustainable farming. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
With this, may I now request Mr. Rahul Dhoka, founder Aqua Farms, to please present your remarks, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rahul Dhoka. I would like to first thank CGI to give me this opportunity to speak in this, expert list of panels. And I would like to first introduce myself. I'm a postgraduate student in biotechnology. I have completed it from the University of Warwick, UK. And in 2013, I have come to India and launched an organic food company called Green Rush Organics. And we are into retailing and wholesale distribution of organic products. And in 2019, I have launched my second venture in the name of Aqua Farms. And we are a one-stop solution for urban agriculture. And we promote hydroponics in India. Now, I don't think hydroponics needs a lot of introduction here. I think a lot of experts have given their views on hydroponics, so I will not take so much time. I'll be brief. So I would just like to talk about the few advantages that we have highlighted over hydroponics. And the first thing, like the other panel said, that you can grow vertically in hydroponics and you can get up to 50 times more production from your traditional soil farming. And there is no requirement of agricultural land, and it uses around 90% less water. And again, one more thing about this technology, it is very much unaffected by the climatic changes because we are doing it in a microclimate like a polyhouse or a greenhouse where you can get a year-round supply of the produce. And with automation and precision farming, we are able to get the maximum output from the produce. Now, this is about hydroponics, and if we're talking about the necessity of hydroponics, like the food summit was kept in a necessity. The biggest necessity is to address is the growing population. Like if I had to take in accordance to India itself, there are around 40,000 mouths to feed every day in India, and due to the growing population, we are forced to look into better technologies to produce food. And there is always a shortage of land, and second generation farmers, like everyone, is moving into the rural areas. So the use of land and the farmers are reducing a lot. So we are trying to incorporate this technology where you can produce a lot of food from a limited space. And there are a lot of other things like mentioned, like the pesticides, which could be avoided. And there are a lot of advantages in terms of transportation and logistics, because we're trying to keep this technology as hyper local as possible by creating digital farms around the city. Now, like I said, necessity was the mother of invention. So back in 2016, when I first got interested in hydroponics, at that point of time, I don't think it was very prominent in India, and there were very few consultants offering help. And again, the setup cost was really high. So this led us into, getting into research of our own systems, and we started developing our own systems and started doing our practices there. And this was back in 2016, and after 3 years of research and developing a lot of systems and working on medicinal plants and produce for giving it to aggregators and the retail markets, we launched this company called Aquafarms in 2019. Now, we launched this company with keeping three principles in mind. The first thing was sustainability and making it available to every common person, because at the moment, the scenario in India, I'm not sure about other countries, but in India, the scenario is that it is not very available for the rural communities. So we are trying to incorporate that, and we are trying to save water, and we are trying to reduce the carbon footprint by keeping it hyper local. So these are the three principles that we decided to start the company with. And in order to be more sustainable, we always shortlist our crops based on the demographics, and we try to control as less as parameters like humidity and temperature and other consistency as possible, although automation is available. But because to make it sustainable, we are growing plants according to its demographics, and we are keeping the price low by that way. And in terms of the last 2 years, we've installed over 10 pilot projects across India. We've done a commercial project in Nepal and a commercial project in Coimbatore as well. And all of these were for edible greens. And we have also set up one of the largest farms in India. I mean, around 90,000 net cups in Nellore. And this is completely for medicinal crops like centella. Also help along with the systems. What we do is we provide the systems, and we also do the consultation for it. So we help the person to manage the farms. We give them SOPs, and we help them set up pilot projects first, and then help them set up commercial projects. So we are catering to the retail industries, and right from a B2C, we even came to the B2B model, where we are giving home kits and encouraging people to get into this technique and start getting a livelihood. And we have worked out sustainable models where a person with a very limited investment also could generate a revenue. So, but Kate, looking at the revenue and the model, the way people require the produce right now in terms of the retail industry and to cater to the export market, we are encouraging people to set up farms and to set up contract bases with aggregators and retail industries. So we are helping out in that as well. And what I would like to say is, like, we are looking for collaboration with individuals and organizations in UAE and in India, and for producing edible greens and vegetables and also medicinal crops. And we are looking to expand aqua farms into the international market. Since we have done extensive research on medicinal crops, it is like a very good field apart from edible greens that usually people see as a commercial venture. So I would like to conclude by saying that we are looking to incorporate hydroponics across UAE and in India, and to set up farms and to collaborate with the export channels and to meet the demands of the country and the growing population. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahul. Thank you for sharing your journey with us, how we are using different models to enhance the ecosystem in India and UAE. And thank you for highlighting different advantages of promoting hydroponics and sustainability and automation, and the necessity of hydroponics due to the growing population. Thank you. Thank you so much. May I now request Mr. Sriram Gopal, founder, Future Farms, to deliver your remarks, please.
How was it, Mama?
We can hear you, Mr. Sriram.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share my screen. I think the options kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone, and it's an absolute pleasure, being here representing India in this great synergy between UAE and India. I will choose today to speak more of the future than the past. I'll probably just give a very quick introduction. We are one of the first few organized players in the hydroponic sector in India. We incorporated about 6 years ago, and to our credit, we managed to set up the first ever hydroponic NFT farm in India about 4.5 years back. And it's been a journey, and it was a great pleasure and a responsibility, when you take a new technology and enter into a market. So we had to treat it with a lot of responsibility as well, because it's very quick to form opinions on any new technology that comes in. So during the course of the last 5-6 years, we have played multiple roles in the value chain. And that's a little bit about our past. I think we have deployed more than 70 commercial farms across India and in the neighboring countries as well. And we have over 1 million square feet plus of commercial hydroponics that we have deployed over the last 5 years. But today I'm here to talk about something else, right? Like we know the future of the world, as everybody, publishes. By 2050, we're going to have a lot of mouths to feed, and our food production needs to go up by 70%. Land being fixed, and unless we are moving to Mars, our agricultural land is only shrinking. So things don't add up here. So the only possible way that we look at the future is when every square feet or every square meter starts yielding more. So we need to grow more with the same piece of land. And there are multiple ways to address this problem, but we as a company believe that technology is a change agent, and we strongly believe that intelligence in farming or data-driven agriculture is the way the world needs to go. So it's not a country's problem. It's not a region's problem. I think it's a global problem, and any hungry child anywhere in the world is a responsibility or a collective responsibility to everyone. So this grows across borders. So the real question is, how can we bring this so-called intelligence into farming, right? How can we control, predict, and how can we influence outcomes? And how can we grow in, let's say, a terrain A, which already has good climatic conditions? And how can we then grow in places that have really arid land parcels, which are difficult or challenging to grow? And how do you address this gap? So we think that a computer can be far more wiser in a long term, because no human can outlive a collective cognizance of a computer. So if we can build this supercomputer that keeps getting expertise from each individual for their entirety of their lifetime, we can all just imagine the collective cognizance or the intelligence that it can build, right? So this is something that we are really excited about, and we believe that could be a key answer. You build this grandfather computer that has collective intelligence of 1,000 consultants, and if it can be made affordable. Now the question is, can one company go and build 1 billion acres of farms? Maybe it can, but it take its lifetime. So we believe that the best way to drastically address this issue, because our time is very limited, is to enable billions of farmers in whatever they are doing, so that we can create a multiplier effect in trying to address this. So if we can enable every farmer, and maybe even enable every company that caters to a farmer, then there can be a larger multiplier effect. And if you just look at the controlled environment agriculture market, and I'm not just touching upon hydroponics. Hydroponics is only the irrigation part of the larger picture, right? So the controlled environment agriculture combines of your sensors, your climate control, your farm operating system, your mechanization, all of that put together. I think in the next just 4 years, we are looking at a 150 billion industry. So it's not just a problem, it's also a huge opportunity. And if you look at the top players in this market, definitely Middle East features as one of the top three. So there's a huge potential here, for Indian companies as well to work closely with the UAE to try and create synergies. And in terms of a startup ecosystem, these are the kind of investments that's gone into the controlled environment agriculture space, especially into the vertical farming space in the just last 2 years. If I have to summarize this, at least a couple of $1 billion have gone into tech companies trying to address this problem, and it's only going to grow. So what do we do as a company today? We are trying to reimagine agriculture. We are trying to enable anyone grow anything anywhere. And we believe that this is possible by the right use of technology and application. So we want to see a world where we can build some kind of a Lego, where every farmer with minimal expertise can simply use these components, put it together, and get the one most important thing that they are missing today. That is the kind of expertise or the kind of recommendations or suggestions or the secret recipe to kind of get farming done, right? So this is like building a brain, but to build a brain, you need the arms and the legs. So you will have to start a bottom to top kind of an approach. You have to build the sensors, you have to build the nodes, you have to build the computers, and then you have to build the data platform. And in the last 5 years, while we were setting up all these farms, which acted like great learning grounds for us to try new things, to push the boundaries, this is what we have been doing. We've kind of built a complete integrated stack. We call this farm operating system, and we call it play, so that farmers can play around with this and build more data on it. And play keeps on learning and trying to enable more farmers as we move. And we want to keep it, a developing country friendly. So every little bit was designed, developed by us, and we are proud to say that our entire stack is probably one of the cheapest in the world. And we have 4 patents that we have filed in terms of this, and we believe that this can be a true disruption in the days to come. Our mantra for success: we want to build a great team. We want to focus deeply on the technology, and we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. We want to really address one problem really well and build a great brand that people trust and respect globally. So in terms of our operating system, what we have done is we've built a complete synergic platform, things that go into your greenhouse, things that go into your hydroponic farm, and things that go into your mobiles and computers. And we look at agriculture as 3 building blocks, right? So your environment management, nutrition management, and your crop lifecycle management. What does it translate into? It translates into tangible parts that people can buy and fit. They are completely wireless, does not require any expertise. You can just take it, put it in your farm, call a local electrician, and then connect them together. And within a day's work, you will transform your current farm to an intelligent farm. The farm will give you the collective cognizance, the advice, and the recommendations. And if it's fully connected, it will also control the farm for you. I'm very happy to share that this year, we did a prestigious startup project where this is the first sign of a completely autonomous farm in India. So everything about the farm is grown by a computer, and the computer is taking all the critical decisions of the farm. We use technology extensively to monitor and to ensure that there is some standardization in farming. So it doesn't matter any part of the world, you can kind of plug and play our farm box, and you should get the same amount of outcome. These are some of the benefits, but what I would like to say is the one single thing that drives us is we have just kept our ears open to the farmers. The people on the field, what do they want? They don't want complex things. They want to keep things simple. They want to keep things cheap, and they want to see results. Like my good friend Hemant was saying, it's a completely integrated system. with just a scan of a QR code, you get everything. So we are able to map from a seed to the last mile activity of the farm. And with all this tech, we have to build the new farmers of tomorrow. So we have put extensive work. In fact, our patents are mainly in the indoor vertical space, and we've built our proprietary indoor technology. And we are focusing on markets like the Middle East and Southeast Asia, especially Singapore and Japan, for kind of deploying these systems. And I'm quite excited to share that in 1,000 square feet space, we're able to achieve about 4,000 kilos of produce. And this is completely modular, whether it's in the Antarctic or in the middle of a desert or in a rainforest, we will be able to achieve these results. So we are coming out with a formal production by April next year, and we are looking at UAE as one of our primary markets as well. Why us? We've been in this field for quite a long time, and we have seen this whole industry evolve. And we are extremely eager to work with every person. I don't look at every company as a competition. I think we need more hands to feed or to solve this huge problem. So if in a way any company wants to collaborate with us, we are more than happy to collaborate and kind of build this global alliance, so to say. Some key recognitions. Been there for 5 years, so obviously we've got some acknowledgements, but more importantly, we've got a great group of engineers, biotechnologists, agronomists working with us. So food is not an industry. Food is a complete concoction of science. So we need a lot of great minds, and we are in a quest to get more great minds in this. We're also supported by a lot of global experts as well, some really eminent ones. We're very fortunate. And that's an introduction about my company. I look forward to collaborating with anybody who's interested. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sriram. Thank you for that very engaging presentation, highlighting our future needs, addressing different problems in the food sector through affordable data-driven intelligence, and how you're using bottom-to-top approach in your company to assist farms convert into intelligent farms. It's very, it's indeed a very disruptive technology, and all the best for your formal production in April next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Archie.
With this, may I now request Mr. Ramakrishnan, Vice President, Intello Lab, to deliver your remarks, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. Great to be speaking to all of you today about Intello Labs. So if you look at the problem we are trying to solve, primarily it's twofold. One, we see that there is a tremendous food loss in fresh produce across the food supply chain. All the businesses across the chain are struggling with losses. The second thing we are seeing is, the consumer is demanding higher and higher quality from the food businesses, and they're even willing to pay a premium for it. But businesses are struggling to meet that demand to really, manage the quality of produce, so to say. And why is this happening? We feel that the current quality systems are completely broken. It's typically manual. It's not standardized. It's not objective. There is zero auditability. There is high dependency on very unpredictable and unskilled labor. And if you look at the cost of all these things put together, eventually it is very expensive, so to say. What we're trying to do is solve these problems using technology. So we have an AI algorithm. What we say is you click an image of the fresh produce which you're trying to buy or trade during, in the supply chain, and click an image using our mobile app. And our software will start identifying different items in the image and start classifying that, hey, this one looks good. This has black spots. This one is shriveled. This meets your specifications. This doesn't meet your specification. And over a period, you're able to, build a very rich insight your dashboards and trends, you can understand which particular quality person is doing a better job, which commodities there are more issues, which locations or warehouses or stores you see more problems, so on and so forth. So this helps the businesses deal with their quality processes better, quality issues better. It helps them improve the customer satisfaction, and it cuts down their losses. This is what we do. Broadly, we have two products. What I explained was primarily what we refer to as Interlo Track. So it's a mobile app. It's very flexible and portable. Anybody can download and use any point. And you will have dashboards getting updated in the backend for anyone with access to a website and a kind of a dashboards to review. The second product we have is what we call as a sort or a sorting machine. So the same technology which looks at the commodities and identifies this is a good quality item, this is a bad quality item. We've taken the same AI-based technology and not just tell the clients that, hey, here is your grade or X percentage of your items are bad. We actually build triggers in the machine to segregate the good versus bad items. So you are able to sort out, and without human intervention, you get an automated and highly accurate, graded, sorted output, so to say. Overall, these equipments and these technologies are very low cost and scalable. It reduces losses. It's verifiable, simple to deploy, so on and so forth. A quick snapshot about us. We are kind of first to market with this technology and have covered multiple commodities, especially on the mobile app. We do about 45 different commodities. We work with clients around the world. We have a presence in the US. We're starting some conversations in Europe. We are, of course, in India, and we also work with clients in APAC, countries like Indonesia, Philippines, starting some conversations in Australia, where VC funded startups, so marquee names like Sama Capital and Nexus are invested in us. Omnivore, which focuses primarily on the food business, food and agri business, is also invested in us. And we are associated with Thrive Accelerator Program, US, Grow in Singapore. They won multiple awards in India from CII, NASCOM, Wiki, and so on and so forth. That's us. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramakrishnan, and sharing a detailed overview on Intello Labs and your insights into your AI-enabled assessment to measure quality processes and cutting down losses. Thank you so much. With this, may I now request our last speaker, Mr. Akshay, Aries Agro Limited, to deliver your remarks, please.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Akshay, we can hear you.
Hi, Achal. Do you have my presentation or do you want me to share it?
We'll allow you an option over there. You can share it directly.
Okay, not a problem. I'll get it done right away.
Thank you.
Is it visible?
Yes, we can see your presentation, Mr. Akshay.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to thank Mrs. Neelu Vora, the Consulate General of India, CII, as well as each one of you who is concerned and getting this food summit organized. And I would also like to thank all my fellow panelists to allow me the opportunity to be part of the panel and speak on the AgroTech. A little overview about Aries Agro Limited. We actually established the company in 1969. It was established by my grandparents. In the year 1975, we actually launched animal feed nutrition, plant nutrition, and we actually patented the chelation technology by introduction of our flagship brands, Agromin and Chelamin, in the year 1976. Currently, we are one of the leading manufacturers and sellers of chelated micronutrients in India, having 6 manufacturing units with a total capacity of 95,000 plus tons. In the year 1994, we actually went public. We are listed on the Bombay and National Stock Exchange. 2020, fortunately, happens to be our golden jubilee year. So we have completed 50 years in the nutrition business. And just to give you a little more idea about Aries Agro Limited, basically we have the products, the distribution reach, the manufacturing capacity, as well as the recognition all in place. We have 95 plus products which cater to 107 different crop formulations, and we definitely have a distribution reach of 6,400 plus retail counters across 27 states in India, and we have a reach of 199,000 villages. We have a total manufacturing capacity of 95,600 tons, as I mentioned to you, in all of our 6 manufacturing units put together. And our in-house R&D is DSIR certified, which means is the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research certified QC lab, which is ISO 9001 2015 certified as well. Now, just to give you a brief idea, we have our product range comprises of micronutrients, plant nutrition, we have amino acid based chelates, we have specialty nutrients, we have aquaculture, we have just probably got into hydroponics about a year ago. We have urban products as well as NPK water soluble products. And what I'm going to speak today about is basically aquaculture and hydroponics. So in aquaculture, we have a range of 10 to 12 products, which, as you can see, is pretty visible here. And this is basically for fisheries nutrition. So we have these products which are specifically designed for specific needs in the aquaculture. We also have hydroponics. So basically by 2050, the agriculture production must increase by 70% to feed the ever increasing population. As a lot of my fellow panelists have already mentioned, that the population is an issue and feeding it is even a bigger issue. And India would be one of the top food importers if we don't try every futuristic technology that could help us increase the productivity by using less or no water, which basically means hydroponics. Hydroponics defines soilless cultivation, which is a fast growing momentum as an alternative farming technique to circumvent any disadvantage and drawback of soil growing. Residue free quality produce, utilization of dead, unusable urban spaces, open urban spaces like terraces, backyards, reducing population, water conservation, etc., are some of the things possible with hydroponics. Now, as you could see, basically we have a 5,000 square feet semi-automated demo polyhouse that grows hydroponically and also designs, tests hydroponic nutrients on the rooftop of our corporate headquarters located in Bombay, India. And basically, what I want to also let you know is Aries Agro Limited, in collaboration with CII and Young Indians and a few more of our partners, we actually have designed 2 programs which defines the business of urban farming. And these 2 programs are separate programs. One is designed for school and college students, and the other is designed for the corporates, where we give basically knowledge dissemination relating to hydroponics. So if anybody would like to get more information, you could basically get in touch with me after my address. And what we can offer you is basically we have a trading arm in the form of the company called Golden Harvest Middle East. It's a free zone company located in Sharjah, and we have a manufacturing unit in Fujairah as well. These are our 2 manufacturing setups and trading arms in the Middle East. And as I mentioned, we have 6 manufacturing units in India. And we also have a consultation wing, which is called Aries Agro Consultation, by which we do give you knowledge based on hydroponics and various other requirements in the agri nutrition space. we also are a nutrition partner. So basically what we are looking at is we could help anybody scale up in India, looking at our reach, and we are also open to any collaboration of any kind in the hydroponic space if anybody would like to actually get in touch with us, and that's what we are looking for. And I would just like to, last but not the least, end my address by saying the future will be green or not at all. And this is a very important point that we all collaboratively need to keep in mind. And like one of my fellow panelists just mentioned, that it's not about competition here, it's about the mindset that all of us need to collaboratively think about what we need to do to solve this major issue that is going to come up. Thank you very much. I would like to thank CII and Mrs. Neelu Vora once again to allow me the opportunity to be part as a panelist on the UAE India Food Summit. Thank you, Achal.
Thank you, Mr. Akshay. Thank you for sharing your journey with us and dovetailing into different diverse segments of company's product, mainly on aquaculture and hydroponics. It has been very encouraging to see your growth both in UAE and India. Thank you so much. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we end our session 2 of on AgroTech today. It has been my absolute pleasure to moderate this insightful session on AgroTech. We would like to thank our council office, speakers, all participants for joining us today for this session. We now head to a lunch break, and post that we have our last session of day 2, session 3 at 2 p.m. UAE time on business to business virtual meetings. Thank you everyone once again for joining us, and have a great day.